It looks like it's ready.
Laurie, what are we doing?
Okay,
Waiting for
we're
Carl.
live. Let me start recording. Okay, we're live.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is the Parks and Recreation Advisory.
Sorry, you can't hear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
I had it muted.
This is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for the City of San Angelo, Texas. It is 3:33 on September 24th, 2020. This meeting is being held virtually due to COVID-19. Public comment. The board takes public comment on all items in the regular agenda. Public input on an item not on the agenda or consent agenda may be identified and requested for consideration by the board. Public comments were to be submitted in writing to Mr. White. Were there any comments? Carl?
No, we had no public comment submitted.
Okay. The board may request an item to be placed on a future agenda or for a consent agenda item to be moved to regular agenda for public comment. I would also like to thank our viewers on the City of San Angelo YouTube channel. Are you ready to share your presentation, Carl? All right. Item number 1, consideration of approving the August 27th, 2020 meeting minutes. Do I have any corrections? Nope. Okay, so do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move we accept the minutes as
I'll
approved.
second.
Presented.
So I have a motion from Mr. Jersky and a second from Heidi. Do I need any discussion on the minutes? Nope. Okay, let's vote. Everybody raise your hand if you're for and say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye? Okay.
Aye.
I've got unanimous for approving the minutes. Any against? Nope. Okay, so the motion carries. On the regular agenda. Discussion of ongoing, upcoming, and possible projects. The improvement plan as they relate to recently adopted Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And considering any adjustments to the improvement plan or list of priorities for unfunded projects. And Carl, we met, and tell everybody about it.
Yes, this is a continuation of this item. And at the last meeting, we talked about probably the thing for us to do was to take a step back and look at our list of projects that are unfunded, update the priorities on those based on the results of the master plan and recent discussions and recent council focus. And so we did that. We took a step back. We set up a committee, and that committee met last week. And what we have, I sent out the updated charts for that. You have a draft of the one in your packet, but this shows, these sheets really just reiterate that. So this is a recommendation from the committee, and I can summarize what we did based on the version you saw from the last meeting. From the version you saw, the August 20th, 2020 version that you saw at the last meeting, what we did was we moved municipal pool from a moderate category to the higher priority category based on known needs that we have to repair the pool and add some improvements to attract the teenage crowd. And then we have several trail sections we'd like to do. We moved one of them down. Moved one of them down to the moderate priority, and that one was the trail extension from 14th Street to 29th Street. It's something we definitely would like to do, but based on all the projects we have going on, we decided to bump that one down, try to do it at a later time. And then we combined Santa Fe Park with Civic League Park Botanical Gardens because those two could be combined as part of a larger project and kept that in the moderate priority category. Those are the main changes. So we have a recommendation from the committee, so we're looking for some discussion. And if since it's a recommendation from the committee, we just need a second to consider this officially.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we have a recommendation from the committee and I have a second from Mr. Deersky. Do we have any discussion? Does anybody, I know that Heidi and Debbie were there when we discussed all this. Does anybody have any questions about it? About what we moved and why? Nope.
I guess one question I've got is the MLK restrooms, is that about where they were at on the last?
Yes, sir. We kept them there
Okay.
as a higher priority.
Yes, and we had some interesting discussions on funding that, so hopefully we can find some money for that.
So if this gets approved, that's what we would start discussing the follow-up meetings. Start talking about specific projects and how we hope to tackle those and fund those as our next step.
Okay. So I'd like to take a vote to accept our projects as Carl has drafted here. Everybody in agreement or for, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Okay, and those against, raise your hand and say no. All right, Carl, like the motion carries unanimously.
So when we get to the end of the meeting, just help me decide which items we want to address at the next meeting.
Oh, okay.
In terms of projects. So I'm going on to the next
Yep.
agenda item.
The discussion of the possible walking program. Go ahead.
Yes, and the next three items are Brent's, so he's going to take over from here. I'll forward the slides. Brent, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I am. Good afternoon. Appreciate everyone being here and having a good time. We're having a great Thursday. So a couple of weeks ago, we talked about all the trails that go out through the many different parks and things like that at the last meeting or the meeting before. I'm not sure which one it was. So I've been coming up with some ideas on how we can get people out to use those trails. And the one that I like the most that I've come up with so far, just want to run it by you guys, it would be called a TBT. And that would stand for Take Back the Trails. So it'd be an incentive program, and that would be on the front of the shirt. So TBT, Take Back the Trail, San Angelo Trail Hop is what it would be. and people would have to complete the trails, which was 24.18 miles is what I came up with. To be able to come in and get that shirt, it would be on the honor system. They would have to maybe snap a picture of themselves at the end of the trail, keep a log of what trails they ran on what day, or walked or hiked or whatever. But when I was out on the trails, I've seen some homeless people, some transients just out there hanging out. So that's why I decided to go with Take Back the Trails. We don't have to really advertise that part, but we thought it might be something to get some people out there. And on the back of the shirts, what I came up with was scream, shout, and sweat it all out. So just catchy little things that I've been putting on the back of shirts. So one that we did last year was drop the fries and move your thighs, which people loved. And they tend to go after the shirts a lot more if you have some catchy little thing on there. Another one that we used in the past was We've Got the Runs. And we just had San Angelo Recreation Center, We've Got the Runs. And people just think it's great because it's something that catches their attention. So that's one of the things that we're looking at doing, and getting people out to the parks, and it's actually underway. After this conversation, I'm actually going to get with the shirt guy, and he's going to be ready to move forward with the shirts unless we want to change it or you guys have something else that you have in mind. Another thing that we're doing with the nature trails, we actually have 2 of them. Carl, if you'll go on forward to that very bad slide of where the nature trail is. One of the 2 nature trails that we have, you go down Knickerbocker and actually across the lake, go out past the airport and turn to the right on Spillway Road and follow that all the way to the end. Then you will come up to the San Angelo Nature Trail if you've never been out there. And that nature trail is just shy of a mile. And then we have one that's just shy of 2 miles. It's all the way on the other side of the lake. And I do apologize because when I was trying to get these slides ready for Carl last week, they had taken over basically my entire computer for pretty much the entire day because we were having computer issues. So that's not a better map up there. But so that's something we're looking at doing. We do have these things right here, which you can't see, but there are 20 different spots that Boy Scouts put in on this nature trail that you see on that map. That's out on Spillway Road, and there's little stands there. So we have some things that we've made up. So what happens when they go to the first stop is obviously labeled number 1, and it talks about mesquite trees and a little bit of knowledge about mesquite trees, but it also gives them an exercise to do. So once they're done with those 20 stops, and they can take a photo of themselves, a selfie, and bring it into Nature Center, and we'll mark it off as being completed one of the nature trails. When they complete both nature trails, then we'll be able to get them a shirt as well. We're still working on the design for that shirt, so it may take a little bit longer. And then the next thing, which was something that we actually have done in the past, it wasn't a huge success, but people did like it. I think we had up to 30 people at one point in time. And Carl, if you go to the next slide for me, please. It is the Ride with Rec program. And basically what you see there is the 2 city logos for the wheels of the bicycle. And it's basically me. I go out and take my bicycle out. I believe we did it on Tuesdays last time we did it. It seemed to work pretty well. People liked it. Sometimes it was just myself and Michael Dane. Sometimes we had 25, 30 people there. But if we get the t-shirts, basically what you see right there, yellow shirts with the Ride with Rec program on it. And once they get complete, maybe 100 miles or 200 miles, and they get one of the shirts that states that how many miles they've completed on their bike. So those are the 3 incentive programs that we've been working on. I've been working on, and we're planning on getting started 2 of them here rather quickly, unless you guys have other ideas on something that you want to come up with. But any questions or comments or discussions or anything else on those?
Well, when you say get started rather quickly, when is that? October?
Well, the incentive programs people do on their own, so there's not even really anything. I've already talked to Dr. Berettis and Sandra. I haven't talked to Teresa yet, but because they go and do it on their own, and it's not a set number of people, then it's something as soon as we get all the supplies and everything ready to go, and we start advertising it, then we'll come up with a date probably to mid-October where they can actually get going with it. But we want to make sure we have shirts in here and everything, so when people complete it, they can come in and collect their prize.
Hey, Brent, it's Debbie Wilson. I
Hi,
think
Deb.
those ideas are awesome. I really like them all. Something I just saw most recently in Ruidoso, I believe it was, is that people are starting to do like I don't know, they're mystery challenges. I kind of think they're like a scavenger hunt or something
Yes,
at
ma'am.
the different parks
Yes,
that
ma'am.
people can do. They can log on and do, but I don't really know a whole lot. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about that. Maybe you might look into it.
Yep. Okay. I've already talked to Bob over at the fort, and we're looking at doing something like that in the future. It probably won't make it out for Halloween because he's been kind of busy with other things, but
Yeah.
he and I are going to partner together for something like that. So
Cool.
not
Thank
only
you.
the fort, but also some of the parks. But no, thank you.
Brett, will there be a map available so that when you start out this, you'll know where all the trails are at?
Yes, sir. There will be a map available. That's one of the other things that we're working on. I actually have Sam, who works up front of our office. She's working on that right now for us. That'll be one of the things which when they sign up, they'll get that either emailed to them or they can come in and pick up a hard copy in the Park and Recreation office.
Brent, when you
Yes.
have these ready to go out, could you email that, whatever information that goes out to the public, to the board members?
Yes, definitely can. Anything else on that one?
No, it sounds great.
And we did check out, or I did check out your hometown there, Lorient, Ohio. I'm not sure what a Buckeye is, but we did check it out and what everything that you had going on in your town there. And they had some pretty awesome incentive programs as well. So thank you for sharing those and allowing us the opportunity to get in there and check those out.
Brent, you're from Indiana. Come on.
Yeah. Who's your daddy? Not a Buckeye, worthless nut.
It's a rivalry there.
Hey,
Okay. We ready for the next time?
All right. So next one is discussion of recent ongoing and needed improvements for recreation facilities and recommended any related matters. Just got a list of things that we've kind of done over basically like the past 6, 7, 8 months. For the recreation centers, of course, you're probably very well aware. People are very happy that we were able to get some AC units in 2 of the 3. We also did a self-help project during the COVID thing, and we did a lot of painting. Since then, we've gone back and we've retouched up some of that stuff because the use that the facilities got when they did open back up, the paint, it didn't take long for the paint to start getting messed up in spots. So we've touched it up. We've kept some of the extra paint. We're trying to stay on top of it and keep it looking as well as we can in those facilities. And we also have approval, and there's a PO already approved, and they should be starting somewhere around the middle of October to paint the outside of all 3 rec centers. So that very old faded blue is going to be going away. We actually have to get with Carl and talk about what color it's going to be. That some of the person that got the contract for the painting the 3 buildings, he suggested that we go with a different one to keep the heat out and help with that, and also to minimize the fading on the facilities. The other major improvement
We could take some input from the board.
Yes,
About
sir.
the color.
Yes, sir. We definitely can.
How about angry orange?
What color?
I'm sorry.
Angry orange.
Angry orange.
well, I
Could do that.
definitely like the
Easy to
idea
see.
to keep the heat down.
He was talking about a brighter color, so orange could possibly work. The angry orange.
Do the Bobcat colors, your central.
That would make a lot of people happy, but a lot of people not so happy too.
Well, you have one on the north side, you could paint it blue.
Yes, sir. Could. Definitely could. Speaking of north side, if anybody has any color things, we'll be happy to listen to those. But speaking of north side, thanks to the big storm that we got, that some said it was a tornado, but some said it wasn't a tornado. It actually ripped the roof off of north side. I think that was on a Friday night. I was actually down at the lake and got a call and said that Northside's roof was gone. So I came back early Saturday morning, and by Sunday, the roofers were up there replacing the roof, and it now has a new roof on it. So that's an outstanding thing. Might end up being one of the best facilities we have by the time the insurance companies are done with it. So we're waiting to see what else they're going to get approved to do with it. But it does completely have a new roof on it. So definitely a good thing to have, because it's been a problem with leaking for years. So any more comments or anything about the recreation centers? Okay, if not, I'll move on to the pool. You probably heard, if you've been in some of the other meetings, that Going to need some concrete work in the back of the pool. It's below the slides. It doesn't really affect the slides, but where the addition was placed back in 2012 or completed in 2012, I think 2011, 2012, the concrete is shifting. So it's not the original pool and it doesn't affect where the water is, but it does affect the decking of the pool back in that corner. So we've had some engineers out there and we've looked at it, and they're going to have to drill some more holes into it and get it figured out and what needs to be done. We've done some things back in a couple of years ago. We put some braces up to hold it and keep it from shifting. But unfortunately this year with the rain that we've got, it has shifted more. So it is something that we've been monitoring for the past couple of years, but it is time for it to have something done to it other than just the braces. Excuse me. The other thing at the pool is the beach entryway for the plaster. It is 1 year past its expected life. Its pool's been open for 9 years now, and it is expected for 7 to 8 years of life. We've had to patch it the past 2 years, but we've been able to get away with patching it. And the individual that has a contract for the pool repairs suggested that we go ahead and replace it because he said it's going to start eating us up. So, excuse me, it's something that we will be looking forward to the pool. I did do a Friday packet and turn that in a couple of weeks ago to the council, the city council, and we will be taking something to them in the near future. Not exactly sure what the date will be on how we propose to pay for that. Any questions on the pool?
Do we have any idea on the cost?
Yes, that is 300,000 just for the plaster. The concrete work we do not know yet until they actually cut the holes and get down in there and see how bad it's shifted inside the concrete.
Okay.
Any other questions on the pool?
Yeah, will this take care of any safety issues that you have with it shifting?
The concrete work should definitely take care of whatever the issue is with the water seeping through there or whatever is causing it. That should definitely be all addressed during this time frame when the corrections being back there on that concrete.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's why we moved it up into the higher priority.
Yes.
Right.
So, yes, ma'am. Some of the things that have to be fixed.
Okay.
Next is Texas Bank Sports Complex, which is one of the great assets that we have here in San Angelo. We're very happy to have it. Parks, we're gonna have to give them a shout out. They do a great job of maintaining it and keeping it beautiful. It's has won many awards since it's been open. And one of the things that we've got should be here toward the end of October is the restroom trailer for Quad 4. There was never any plumbing or anything put in for Quad 4, so there's never been a restroom. Every time we have a large tournament or TLCA rents those fields for their home baseball and softball games, we have to rent porta potties and put them out there. But we did get a decent sized restroom trailer that's going to go in there. It has AC and everything, so that's going to go back there, and it's something that we can move around to other locations. There's not even going to be electricity for it because we have a generator which we've already purchased for it. That's all paid for, just waiting on it to be completely built to our specifications and delivered to San Angelo. So it should be about the end of October. Other things that we've got for the complex are 2 golf carts, which have also they've already been purchased and they're there. We used them for our preseason flag football tournament this past weekend. And it was a great asset to have when you have that many staff trying to catch so many different games, especially with the spreading out of the fields, even for flag football. There was only 39 teams that played in our tournament, which is a decent number for the preseason youth flag football, but we used 2 fields on Quad 2, 3, and 4. So being so spread out, and especially our supervisors running back and forth. And then when I was out there, I checking things out. So it was great to have those extra golf carts. Much safer so people can get where they need to be if there's an emergency as well. But we also have 4 new scoreboards coming. They haven't worked. So when they redid the complex 10, 11 years ago, they took some of the older scoreboards that we already had belonged to the city of San Angelo. So some of those didn't work very long. So we have the money and we got everything approved and we have ordered those. So they should be coming here in the next couple of months and be installed as well. We have batting cages that are hopefully going in between quad or down by Quad 1 or I'm sorry, 2, 3, and 4. So we're currently getting quotes for the concrete is where we are with those right now, but you'll hopefully see those coming in the next months or year or whatever it's going to take us to get it all done and worked out. We've also got pitching mounds. We've already ordered 4, and what those are portable pitching mounds for when we have larger baseball tournaments and things like that. So we can have those out there, and the people, we don't have to rent them. So now we have enough pitching mounds on our property to use for all different ages, from adults all the way down to little kids for baseball. So that's a good thing to have. Any questions about the complex? Okay, next we have the Nature Center. So basically the only repairs we've had going on out there, which was just completed about 3 weeks ago, we had the roof repaired where it did have a leak. So it's now done. So they're very happy to have that so that it doesn't leak on our animals anymore. But it is still a very old building, but at some point in time, maybe we'll get a new one, a larger one. But right now we're doing best we can with it. So the roof has been repaired. Onto the senior centers, the
Right.
sprinklers. Yes, sir.
Did you mention the weather warning system at the sports complex?
Oh, no, sir, I didn't. I sure didn't. The other thing at the Texas Bank, thank you, Coral, appreciate it. The Texas Bank Sports Complex has a weather warning system, which is a great big deal because when we would go out there, there were many people using many different apps to figure out where the lightning was or when the storm was coming in or what was going on with that. So now we have our own, which cost us about $30,000, $35,000, but it's been well worth it. We've used it. We've got to test it out with these storms over the past few months. We even used it with the pool because it's not too far away from the pool. So we judged it on which way the storm was coming in and where the lightning was. If the lifeguards didn't actually see it, then they could start watching in one direction or whatever. So it comes right to our phones. We've shared it with some of the park staff as well, so they have it, but it comes right to our supervisors' phones. I have it on my phone. Carl has it on his phone. It starts a timer for us automatically because we have to wait 30 minutes once lightning strikes within 10 miles. So the 30 minutes automatically starts on our clock on our phones, and we can just go to the app, click on it, and we see exactly where it is. It sends us the forecast every morning and expected rain or any chances of lightning or anything like that, and about what time. It does a lot of things for us. It helps us out a lot. It also has a weather warning system in case of inclement weather or the lightning in the area. So it just makes an announcement to where people in the complex can hear it, and on any quad that they are. There's actually 2 systems out there, and they can hear it on quad 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it did work. We were playing adult softball out there, and it went off because there was lightning within the radius that it wasn't supposed to be. So it did go off, and people were just looking around, what was that? So we had to go back out there and tell them, hey, that means we need to go and get in our cars and clear the complex. But got a lot of positive comments about it. And it does work very well. So we're very happy to have that. So it takes away a lot of confusion when we have major tournaments and stuff out there, and provides a lot of safety for our people that are out there playing. So.
That sounds very excellent. When safety is one concern.
And it takes it out of your hands and say, hey, we have an app for that. When it goes off, we have to listen to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
That was the reason we want it. And the last thing on
Very
this
good
page,
addition, yes.
yes, sir, definitely. The last thing on there was on this sheet was the senior centers, Station 618 and Santa Fe Crossing. We have the sprinkler systems. Station 618 has been completed and done. We're completely revamped, so we're good to go there. Santa Fe Crossing. They were supposed to complete the work today, but they had a welder that got called out of town on a family emergency. So currently it's rescheduled to be complete next Wednesday. So we'll be anxious to get those done. And then
Our expression system.
yes. And then the other repairs for both buildings are the repairs of the roofs. Santa Fe Crossing is going to get a totally new roof. The tile's been messed up there from the past storms, so we're just waiting on that to get finished. But we've had many adjusters over here looking at different things with that one, and also Station 618. Currently, what I've heard is the plan is not to replace 618, but to just repair it. So there's only one spot where it leaks, and that's in the front office area currently. So if that gets repaired, then we'll be happy and ready to go. Any questions about the facilities or the work that's been done to them? Nope. Okay. And going on to the next slide is discussion of upcoming ongoing recreational programs. So let me tell you, we're very happy to get going with something. We tried to do things throughout the summer as they may have fell into place, and a lot of things got canceled, baseball tournaments and so on and so forth. But we have been doing things since June when they allowed us to get back in there. We did have the youth basketball league throughout the summer. We've had adult basketball league, adult volleyball league, and then our softball programs going on for the past couple of months. So that's good to keep those going. As far as youth programs, we just had our youth flag football preseason tournament with 39 teams, which is about average for our preseason tournament. And we have 81 teams for our youth football league. So that's 9 less than what we had last year, but we're very happy with the 81. We had no issues last week for the preseason tournament. The only complaint we had was from a 6U parent, and everyone else just gave our staff tons of accolades and tons of compliments. And they were just happy to be back out and ready to go and doing something again. We do have the players wearing masks, and everyone on the sidelines when they come in the complex have to wear a mask, but that's okay. People still didn't mind, and we were ready to go. As far as senior programs, the only thing we've been doing with senior programs is our drive-through lunch program. And since this COVID stuff began back in early March, we have served over 17,000 meals through our drive-through lunch program through the senior center. So Plaza del Sol has been closed. They do not want us to deliver meals, which we normally do there, but Christian Village has still been open, so we are still delivering meals there. But between Christian Village and the seniors that have been doing the drive-through, it's been over 17,000 meals, about 17,100 up to this point in time. So over the past 6 months. So very happy with that. It's a great program, and definitely a needed program in San Angelo, and we're happy to keep it going, and been glad that we could keep it going during all this COVID stuff. So the pool was open this year, although it was limited for a large part of the time to only 100 people coming in to the pool. So that was not a great thing for us. Finally, it did go out to 250 people. And as far as the parties and things, we were doing very well with the parties as far as people renting the pool. But what we found was they would back out and cancel their pool reservation for the private parties about a week, which is totally understandable because they were worried about the numbers jumping up so high and everything like that. So about a week prior. So we ended up not doing so great on the private parties either, but we still had quite a few. And not a good year for the pool, but that's okay. We'll bounce back and get the things made that we need to make happen to it, and then we will move forward. So we did not do swimming lessons this year because of COVID-19 and the attention that it takes for the lifeguards to be in the water, and a lot of times they have to actually touch the kids to get them in the right position and keep them in the right spot on where they're supposed to be for the swimming lessons and teach them the proper method to swim. So we canceled swim lessons altogether for this year, but we made it through the summer and ready to get the things worked on at the pool that we need to get worked on, and ready to go for next year. Any questions or comments on anything for the programs for recreation?
Well, can we mention anything about tournaments?
Like baseball tournaments?
Yeah.
Well, who the individual, his name is Tommy Hawkins, who is the USSSA state director for this area for youth baseball, who is proven to be one of the largest things to bring baseball tournaments into San Angelo, or any tournaments. I think the largest we had with them was 121 teams. So that is a major economic impact for the city of San Angelo. What we did is we went to city council and asked them for a fund to be able to carry over and to keep him coming here. And of course that was approved. And then all the COVID stuff came, and we had a tournament scheduled for the midsummer in July, and it was approved and ready to go. And then of course it got canceled. And I don't know, Shirley, you've seen the comments on Facebook or social media. It was not a very popular decision. Tournament moved right down the street to Midland, or right down the street, an hour and a half away. But Midland took that tournament and many other tournaments. So we're working with Mr. Hawkins and getting him back here next year. I do think that we're going to take a major hit on that. That's just my opinion. I think a lot of teams, from according to what they have said and what they have shown, is that they don't want to come to San Angelo. I think they'll get past that eventually, given the condition of our fields and everything and how great it is to play here. But I don't think of the first tournament or even the second tournament. And just in case you don't know, we normally have 5 tournaments with Tommy per year for youth baseball. So we have one in February, we have one in March, and we have one in May. And then we also got him to do the July or August tournaments, one or the other. And then there's one also in November. So we've extended those. When I first started a couple years ago, there was only 2 tournaments per year. We definitely want Tommy here every time he can come, but we're going to have to do something to build those back up. So we've been working with the city manager and the mayor on what we can do to make these people happy when they do come. So we're throwing around ideas for that, but we definitely want to keep them coming back to San Angelo. We want them spending their money in San Angelo and want them enjoying their experience when they come to San Angelo. So we've got some makeup work to do there. But I think we'll be able to get past everything eventually, but it's just going to take some time. So that's where we are with those tournaments. Of course, our local tournaments will continue pushing with those. We'll have our end of season youth flag football tournament. We don't have the state tournament here for youth flag football this year. We have had it here for the past 2 years, so we had to give it up. We did get the bid for the basketball tournament for youth, which would have been in March next year. But I actually gave that up here recently because talking with the schools, they said there's no way that they can allow us to use their gyms. So I'll be sitting with my staff tomorrow to figure out what we can do to save basketball, because our youth basketball league is one of our largest. We usually have somewhere around 150 teams for that, which is a rather large number of teams for a city our size for youth to be over here. And then the Y has about half that. So that is just basketball is just a huge thing in San Angelo and makes me very happy. It's one of my favorite sports. But being 6'7" and from Indiana, that's the basketball capital of the world, right? Not Ohio. But Chris Beard comes from Indiana, Texas Tech guy. But so we got we got some work to do with some tournaments, but we're ready and anxious to get back to normal, if you will, and can't wait to get everything going, and very happy that some things are moving forward and hope that we can continue that forward progression and keep going.
That's it for Brent's reports.
Any questions, comments?
Ever play against Larry Bird?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Did you ever play against Larry Bird?
Only at his house. He used to have us over. Larry Bird's from French Lick, and I grew up in Salem. It's only about 30 miles apart. And I actually took my wife there about 2 years ago to what used to be Larry Bird's house and showed her the court and sent her up to the front door and got a picture of her ringing the doorbell. But of course, it's not Larry Bird's house anymore. So when the people come to the door, she was like, "Who is this? Why am I here?" But it was funny. So good time.
Excellent report, Brent. I like the positivity in your report because I think next year it's going to be a big one for you.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it.
I hope that next year it'll be much better than this year and things will make a great improvement for us.
Definitely.
All right. What's next, Carl?
Wrapping it up. So just to discuss the future agenda items. If you want, we could we'll go back to the park reports, do the next 5 parks, and then we could start talking about the high priority unfunded projects and start talking about strategies how to approach those and fund those.
That sounds all right. Anybody have anything else they want to add? I mean, I don't know what we're going to be able to do this coming Christmas season or anything like that. All right.
And the next meeting's October 22nd. It sounds like council may be going back to meeting in person in October. So we may be able to meet in person in October, not sure yet.
And
I'll let you
Carl,
know.
remind us where that'll be.
If we start meeting in person next month, it'll be the second floor of City Hall. It's a large conference room. We can spread out. But we'll find out soon whether it'll be on Zoom or in person.
I have a quick item, and somewhere in all my wisdom, I think I've lost the plant the tree information. Is there a chance we could?
Plant a tree program information?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what I did with it, but it's disappeared. So
I'll email it to you. Oh, I think we lost Lori. Yes? Did we lose you? Okay, that's good. We just finished. Okay, all right. Bye. Lori lost her connection, and our vice chair is not here. So, and we just finished. Unless anybody has anything else, we don't have a quorum anymore. We're gonna have to finish the meeting. Anybody else have any other comments? Ed, no?
No,
Allison, no?
none for me.
No comments. No. Mm-mm.
Debbie? Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next month. Take care, everybody.
Stay safe.